What's up, y'all? It's your boy Darnell Jordan of S-Town Productions. Alright, I'm kidding. So, hang on, let me fix this real quick.
Yo. Alright, that's a little bit of a funny dilly there. Guys, it's your boy Darnell Jordan of S-Town Productions. Thank you guys for tuning in to another video. Want to thank everybody that checked out some of my content from the last time. I think it's been about a week and a half since I put something out. So hopefully this video, similar to the last video, will help a lot of people out. This is another installment talking about adding stuff for the X32 and M32 consoles and racks, mixers. Behringer X32 minus M32 people who are using that stuff. I want to kind of go through today, found out how to add effects to your DAW. And we're going to use that track that I just did the intro on. That one's called Self-Contained. Track I'm currently working on right now, still in the works. It's going to come out soon, promise. So in this video, what the plan is for today is I'm going to go through a quick overview of the video from last time regarding how to route it to your DAW for live streaming, because that's going to actually help getting that into working on your DAW. So it's it's kind of a DSP of sorts, although it's not something there might be a way you can sum it back into it and reroute it. I haven't gotten to that point yet. Once I get there, I will try to put a video out to kind of sort that out. But till then, here's another tutorial on how to kind of go through some of the routing and how to add effects and put them into your DAW. Today we're going to use Ableton. I also will take time for people who want to see stuff on Studio One. We'll do Studio One as well. Without further ado, let's get right into it. All right. So right in front of you, you have the M32 edit. Anytime I'm going to go through these videos, I'm going to go into the M32 edit window. And as you see, I got the effects here. So before we get into that, I got to talk to you guys a little bit about the routing, because this is going to be very important. All right. So first thing you're going to have to make sure to do. All right. Right now, my inputs are running through usually 1 through 8. It can be on your local. If you have it routed through your local, it doesn't make a difference. The reamp, I have it at card 1.4. That doesn't make a difference. The main point you want to look into is when you go into the card menu, 2 things. Number 1, you want to take your card. You want to go through the first 8 channels of the Ultranet. Okay? I have yet to find... Actually, there might be a... No. So there's nothing that I've seen in here that can run through Ultranet in the user panel. So I'll have to get back to you guys and figure out how to kind of route that in for that. Oh, well, there's the out. So let's see if we can, maybe we can simplify this and make it a lot easier for some of us so we can do that. All right. So we have to go to the Ultranet. For some people, it will be either Ultranet, or some other people will be called the P16. All right. Basically, is whatever you route the Ultranet basic Cat 5 cable for people who use the Behringer P16 personal monitoring system. So it allows you to go ahead and have your own personal mixes on the little box. It's kind of like when people use the Furman, similar to that. But again, this will be for another video. I might explain how you can probably do some other ways of daisy chain that without spending all the money to get those P16 monitoring. So we'll get into that a little bit later. All right. Right now we are in the Ultranet window. As you can see right here, I have this thing that says phone P16 on channels 1 and 2 that's routed to my 5 and 6 mix bus. Reason why that is this allows me to take the first 2 channels and route them to basically I can route them to the first 2 channels. This is for people who use Windows 10. I think it might be for Mac too. For some reason, when you try to do like separate channels, like I want to be able to use this mic as a mono, but it only does it in stereos 1 and 2. So the first 2 channels I have dedicated to that. If you go down the line here, I have my microphone here at 3, 4. I have my guitar. Right now I have my bass on me, so we'll get into that a little bit later. So here's the mic, guitar, and then 2 channels for keys, and then 7 and 8 are off. That was originally routed back into the PC, but it didn't make sense to kind of route that in there because that would just cause problems and a bunch of feedback. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so right now that's going through the direct out channels of 1, 2, 3, and 4, or whatever I have them routed to. Depends on where you have it sorted from. This is where I have those channels routed to, and that's how they're correspondent with each other. So I have to do that first off, and then I have to go to card and send it out through 1 through 8. Should be that simple. Again, you won't have this weird feedback monitoring problem. I promise. If you do it the first time, I would suggest saving it as a scene. I think the last time I did it, there was something weird happen where I had to use a something happened where it's like phase was kind of flipped and I was canceling out my own noise. But again, it shouldn't be too much of an issue down the road. So that's just something to keep in mind of. So again, outputs 1 through 8 go through the first 8 channels, or whatever you want to route it to. You could probably go through 9 through 16, or this, that, the third, depending on how you guys want to route that for. All dependent to you. Actually, I could probably use the user outs. So this might be something we can talk about in the future where we can send that out. All right. We'll talk about that later. Okay. Cool. So now that we got that sorted out the way, hopefully nobody has any questions. You guys have any, leave them in the comments, leave them in the portal so I can go ahead and try to answer as many questions about that as possible. Okay. Next up, what you guys heard was the mood filter. Oh, sorry. You heard the pitch shifter, where you guys heard me kind of
switch my voice down, and it sounds like it's a lot
deeper.
I can go all the way down to 12, so an octave down
and an octave up.
So again, the way you'll be able to do this is a couple different ways. All right, I'm gonna use FX3 as an example. All right. If you go to your FX channels on your Behringer X32 or your M32, you can do this on the mixer as well. You should be able to. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to type. I'm going to use the pitch shifter, right? I'm going to preset it. I'm going to maybe go 5 dB like I did before, okay? One of these channels has to be routed to your mic or your input. So to do that, you will see something where it says bus 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 16, and then your main MC, which is what's now called the sub, I believe. You want to go over to insert. Usually it just says insert, and then you will select your channel. So I will go to insert, and then I will go to the selected channel that I want, and then go to channel. I'm going to use pre, and then once I go into pre, right here, this is where you see your routing for your effects at. So right now I have it at FX3 left or right. If you have a mono channel, it can be left or right. If you have a stereo channel, it'll just make sure to split them left and right. Right now I'm just going to use one of them. It doesn't really make a difference when it's mono, so I'm going to use FX3L because that's the one that is routed to first. And then I'm going to press this INS, which is your insert, where it says FX here.
And now you can hear the voice change when I speak, okay? So, again, I can use this at any point in time. I can go back to the FX1, all right? And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go and we're going to open up, I'm going to open up Ableton and we're going to add a channel. After we add the channel, I'm going to route it to channel 3, which is my mic. Test, 1, 2, 1, 2, mic check, 1, 2. So you can hear a little bit of delay. That means that's basically making sure that the thing is working. I'm going to put it back on auto. I'm going to solo this. I'm not going to use the song as an example for this. I'm going to use the bass for that later. And then what I'm going to do is just do a quick test. So I'm going to turn it off. You can have it on if you want. It depends on what you want to do. I'm going to press record. Make sure that it's armed. It takes a second. Some reason with the Ultranet, it takes a little bit longer to kind of detect the inputs in Ableton. For Studio One, it's different. I don't know why. But again, it does work. I promise you it does work. Okay? So I'm going to go start. Press record. Check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. 1, 2. All right. We're going to take a pause right here. I'm going to put auto back on. And
I'm going to turn this off so you guys can hear me in my normal voice. Excuse me. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's figure out where we can find the routing for this, all right? So, again, here's the solo. Here's the playback. This is how to make sure you know that this thing is guaranteed that it's working right now.
Check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. 1, 2.
So you just heard that it's working. It's functional. It's working exactly the way that you want it to. I'm already wasting 12 minutes of talking about this. I'd rather have you guys informed than, give you half-baked information. So I guess it is important to kind of go through that. Making sure I'm not missing any comments, questions, things like that. Looks like I'm good. I don't see anything. Okay. So here's my routing. And
check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. 1, 2.
So that's how you know it guarantees that it works. I just tried it. It just did my pitch shift. This is fixed. So it's not one of those things where like I can do it. It's like, oh, I messed up. I don't really want this thing anymore and take it off. It's like you got to make sure that this is exactly what you want to put into your mixer when you into the input when you want to do it. So it is post. There might be ways you can do it in split. That way you can have both. That might be your other option, is to have an external effects channel to route that to, rather than just strictly have it. So if that is the case, your other option I would recommend would be kind of looks like this. Okay, so I'll go back to my routing. Here's my Ultranet again. So I'm gonna go back to Ultranet, and you can see I have all the direct out channels. Here's the direct out aux. Here's the direct out FX. Right. I would probably either route it to, if I have a channel dedicated mix bus where I have certain effects for, I'll probably route it there, or I'll route it to the direct out FX to have them split. So I would say, okay, 7 and 8. Let's say 7 and 8 is, all right, so let's do 7. We'll click here. and 8 will click here. Oops, 7, 8. And I'm just making sure that there's something in there somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to use 7 and 8 for this example. All right, here's the FX channel, FXL1, FXL2. Okay, I'm going to use that as channel 7 and 8. I'm going to try to do the same thing, but instead I'm going to route it to those channels. So I got to get another spot. I got to select 7 and 8. Okay, so I have 7 and 8 up, but as you can see, there's nothing getting routed to it. So I have to do a couple different things here. First off, I'm going to have to go to, make sure I'm going in the routing. Right now it's getting sent to the chamber. Yeah. So if I want to do pitch shift, it's going to have to be FX3. So it's going to be channel 3L and 3R. Okay. I have to change this to let's see, 13 and 14. Okay. Here's FX3. Now I have to select that FX channel and turn this up, and then turn up the main channel that gets routed to it for it to work. Now, if I go to FX3 here, I have to go over to channel, and then here's main left right, which should send that out. Okay, so let's see, FX3. Okay, here's FX3. Here's main channel. We're not going to add anything into here. Well, actually, we are. No, we're not. Okay. So, channel 13 and 14. All right, now we're getting into the nitty-gritty parts of this. All right. So, I know 13 and 14 are now my bus channels that has that effect. So, I have to go back into routing, and we're going to have to go to 7 and 8. And then go to 13 and 14. Guitar FX. Huh. Yeah, we'll do that for 7 and 8. And I'm going to do post EQ for those two. Let's go back into Ableton. Now you can see there's something being routed in here. Check, check, 1, check, 1, check, 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 1. Okay, so there's that other channel that we just talked about that's in 7 and 8 right now. But check, 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 check. For some reason, that thing is not being routed into here. And we have to figure out how to basically just try to get this thing to run. So I got 13 and 14. So let's make sure that it's being routed correctly here. So I got 13 and 14. 13 and 14. I'm going to turn one of these off. Check, check. Okay. So I have to technically I have to have both of them on in this case. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. Usually it's simple enough where I can just route it directly. Check 1. Check, check 1. Okay. Check 1. All right, now I'm going to go to pitch. Insert position already used. Do you want to overwrite? Yes. Hopefully that change allowed it to yeah, so we'll stereo link. Why are we doing 15 and 16? Oh, that's why. Okay, sorry, that's my fault, guys. So 15 and 16, 3 and 4. Okay, let's keep both of those at the same channel here. 7 is 15. That's 15. So I should be able to add that now. Check 1, check 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Huh. Interesting. All right. So we'll leave it where it was for now. I'll have to go back and make sure I get more information about that. It should be a way you should be able to split it that way. I thought it was a lot simpler than this. So I apologize if I felt like I wasted some valuable time and information going through that. So let's go back and just try to route this back to where it originally was. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to go back to insert, and I'm going to go back to my mic channel and turn back on that pitch shifter. Yes, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. All right. Okay. So if we go back here, so if I go here and
there we go. There we go. So now we're back and doing this again. So you might have to do this in post. But there's one of your effects. Now I can use this as like anything that I want to.
So I'm going to turn this off real quick. I got my bass on me right now, and right now I'll have it. Right now I have no effects on it. All right, I'm gonna add this mood filter, which is kind of like, I call it like the Thundercat filter. Okay. And again, I can there's a notch. All right, so now you can see I've added that to it, so I can use that at any point in time, and I can use all of these effects and have the same. Now, mind you, not all of these have a main left right, which is probably why I'll have to figure out how to do the split. So again, but I can use a hall reverb if I wanted to as part of it. We'll go through some ambience. All right, rich plate, all types of other reverbs here. Here's a vintage one. All right, a lot of reverb stuff. Reverse reverb. This is the first time I've checked this one out. you can adjust any other settings in here too. All right. Stereo delay really doesn't make much of a difference when you have mono, but and I'll split this in half. There it is, and you can do your tap. So there's your different delays, a couple choruses in here if you want chorus. Here's your effects in the sort. Again, we'll have to find a way to do that in stereo. We'll make another video and talking about that. Here's a phaser. Phaser, chorus, rotary speaker, tremolos, panner. Here's your delay. Here's a couple mixes of delay in chamber, delay in chorus. You can also use stuff like graphical EQs, de-essers if you need de-essing for certain tracks. I'm gonna have to start looking into that in post. You can see that they have their kind of their own like makeshift compressors. And mind you, there's also stuff, presets that I believe that they've made for these compressors and such, or you can make your own. All right, so there's your stereo compressor. Here's some more compressors, dual fare compressors. You know, I can do the pitch shifter again, you know, and you know, I can have my own octavator. Right? Change it how I want. I can change the delay. I can change the pitch. I can change high cut, low cut, all that other good stuff, right? Here's your own amps. If you need stuff with, you know, I need some bass gain in certain areas. I'm gonna turn drive down. Sometimes I need more bass in the pre's because they don't really stand out. You know what I mean? know, stereo guitar. Right? So again, there's all these different effects that you can use at any given point in time to kind of, you know, make your track stand out a little bit. All right? So, getting back getting back into it, I'm gonna take a pause right here. We'll make sure people who had any questions that may have some troubles. Okay, looks like we're all good. So the main thing that we're gonna have to figure out in our next video, basically, is how to route, mostly how to just route these things into stereo tracks that make the stereo tracks make stereo tracks send out, right? Because I have FX3 right here, right? If I did FX3 and 4, which again, I think it might be even easier to just do left, right, the actual effects outs. Go to the channel itself. All right, here's 7 and 8. I have that solo currently right now. And it should be, don't quote me on this, but it should be as simple as taking turning those things on, okay, check 1, check 1, check 1. Usually the way I've done this before is if I've just sent out directly into here, it automatically just starts working. For some reason, this one's doing a bypass of sorts. Oh, you know what it is? I know exactly what it is. So check this out. I think it's 3. So FX3. Check 1, check 1. 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 Check 1 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, so this is what I just found out. 15. Okay, so if I do, so channel 7 and 8. Now I got this very demonized. So it's sending out through one of these channels here, right? Which is expected for what we're doing right now. But I want, so I'll have to go back into mic, and this is where you have to send it through the actual sends now. So I know that channel 3, okay, here's my channel 3, right? And I'm putting it in post fader. So it's all going to be dependent on how the fader is being routed to. I did it in pre, make it, okay, so now it makes a bigger of a difference. I'm going to put it back in post, and I'm just going to raise up the volume. Check 1. Okay, so here's FX3 left and 3 right, right? I have to check. Yeah. See, what it's doing now is doing like a feedback loop of my voice pitched and the other effect pitched and the other effect pitched. All right. So we have to fix that somehow. So let me turn that off. And then we got to go back into routing. So right now we got direct FX outs. I said bus 15, 16, I believe. Okay, actually, yeah. So if I go to the bus channels and say, all right, I want 15 and 16. Okay. To be my channels here. And I have to go to my mix bus 15 and 16 on 7 and 8. Check 1, check 1, check 1. Okay, so now you can start to hear it on the left side a little bit, which means it was routed the way I wanted it to. So you have to go to FX3 left and right, turn it up to the desired volume that you need for it, right? And then what you're gonna have to do next is it's only sending out through 3 and 4, right? So technically, the way this is routed now is 15 is activated. So 15 is activated right now. Check 1. Nope. Check 1. Okay. And then 16, let's say I'll use a second pitch shifter and we'll go up like 7. Check 1. Check 1. Check 1. 16. Check 1. No, we want 16 here. And we want, I don't know, we want insert here somewhere. Check 1. So it means FX4 will have to go back. So I'll have to, let me show you what I'm doing. Let's go back to edit. Do the same thing here. Check 1. And now you can see that there's something getting sent to that channel now. And then I have to go back to, let's see, FX4. Let's turn that off. 3, we'll turn that off. I'm gonna turn my own mic down so I can hear what's happening right now. Check 1. I'm gonna do this. Check 1 2 1 2. So let's see what it's doing right now. Test 1 1. Check 1 2 1 2. Let's see what it's. Test 1 1. Okay, so it's sending out through that channel, which is good. Now we got to figure out how to get this thing to go back, right? And do it in that split. Now you just heard me earlier when I was in here. Check 1 1 1. Okay, so there's the voice again. But I need to know, is it sending? I know it's sending out through there. I need to know if it's sending out through 7 and 8. Now there's something in here in 7 and 8 right now that's been sent over. Okay, so what I would suggest doing is, if it has to be within those 2 channels, to make sure that they're, I would say pre-fader. I mean, as I know it's post EQ, but I would say pre-fader to make sure that it's getting routed right. And if I were to like turn this down, up, not that down. Check 1, check 1, check 1. Okay, so it is doing post pre. Yeah, I should be doing it right there then. Oh, you know what? Because that's different. Okay, so here's the mic. Here's where I got routed to it right now. All right, so don't quote me in saying that works or not. That might be different later on down the road. Insert is off, so you know it's definitely not being sent over right now. So let's go back to live. So we're gonna record both sides here. Check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right, so let's go back into the video and see what we have here. Hang on, guys. Now this thing's gotten like annoying a little bit now. Check 1 1 1. So volume 3 turned off. Okay. All right. Now let's take a listen and see what we got so far. Check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. So that's the regular track. Mic check 1 2. Testing 1 2. Check 1 2. Mic. So you have one channel that's using the left side effect, and then the other channel is using just the naked eye here. Check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Testing 1 2. Cool. So that eliminates a couple things that we need to look at then. Guys, thank you for being patient with me. I know this video gets long, and I just want to throw content out there to kind of go through this thing together. So there. So there's one benefit right there, right? So we've routed channel 15 and 16, which is 13, 14, 15, 16, which is literally just the first 4 channels. So it really is not making much of a difference, to be quite honest. The one thing that I would have hoped for it to do. Now, the good thing is, if I need that effect to go, all I got to do is just select one or the other, right? And then I can go back into that channel, plug that, get that thing back up and running. Check 1, check 1. Test 1 2, check 1 2. And test 1 2. All right, so there's those voices again, right? And it's doing everything right now in post, as opposed to doing it in pre. Now you guys probably might be hearing it a little bit different. I guarantee you. I bet for sure you guys are like, what is this dude doing? Like, I can hear like 15 different voices of him, and it's really driving me nuts right now. So actually, let's make sure you guys are not. So if I turn this off, you guys should be able to hear me, but I'm not sure if you're hearing the effect or not. So I'm gonna go back. Let's go put this back up. And yeah, so let's get these pitch shifters out the way. Here's channel 7. Here's channel 8. So we're going to do channel 7 first. And we're going to do 7. And we're going to solo this one. And we're going to solo this one. And then we're just going to record this over. Mic check 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing. Mic check 1 2 1 2. All right. Let's take a pause here. Let's see what we got. Mic check 1 2. Testing 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing. Mic check 1 2. Okay. So you get a split. So there is a way to do this where you can split them. We'll just have to figure out the routing and how to do it correctly to make sure that it's getting sent to the right spots. It's a pain in the butt. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It is a pain in the butt, and I wish it was a lot easier than it is right now. But we'll take for what we can get right now, and what we can get right now is the fact that we can get, these channels to just route correctly, somehow, some way, somehow. That's how we can do it. All right. So I'm gonna do a finishing touch recap of how to do it the basic way, so you can at least get something or another of this thing working. All right, let's put it back here. We're gonna open up edit. Basic rule of thumb to know how this is guaranteed to work: have your routing set up. Go to Ultranet, select your channels that you want. Use mic 3 for an example. I have that sent out at channel 3. Okay. Then what I do in post is go to whichever effect I want to use. Select it. Press channel 1. Press effects. Well, before I do that, make sure it's being routed to there, right? Channel 3 left, which is correct. FX1, insert 1.
There's your pitch shift. Okay? Alright guys, I am done. You could do this at any point in time. Use Ableton. You can use anything you want here. Alright? Boom. And I can do it in post. Right? Here it is right now. That's all you're hearing is just my main low voice. Go in here and do a little diddly. Yeah. Alright. There it is in post. Alright. It's not the bass, but it's something that I just thought might work. Okay? Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys soon. Speak everything into existence. You guys know where to find me if you guys need anything at any point in time. Manylink.co/@DJSTown Productions. Thank you guys for the fun.
It's been great. Tune in next time for another video. We guys will see y'all soon. Speak everything into existence. Peace out.